My child, I need you to hear me tonight. Not tomorrow, not later, not when you feel more ready. Tonight, right now, in this very moment where you are sitting, wherever you are, however you feel, I need you to stay with me. I know something about you that you have not spoken aloud in a very long time. I know that you are tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, but the kind that lives deep inside your bones. The kind that sits behind your eyes even when you smile. The kind that makes you wonder how much longer you can keep going like this. You have been strong for so long. You have carried so much. And somewhere along the way, you stopped asking for help because you convinced yourself that no one would understand, or worse, that no one would come. But I am here, and I am asking you to do something that may feel almost impossible for you right now. I am asking you to stop. Stop carrying. Stop pretending. Stop performing your strength for a world that never stops demanding more from you. Just sit with me tonight. I did not bring you to this moment to give you another task, or another burden, or another thing you have to figure out on your own. I brought you here because I want to take something from you. I want to take the weight, the heaviness you wear across your shoulders that no one else can see, the invisible armor you put on every single morning just to survive another day. I see it. I have always seen it. And tonight I am telling you that you do not have to wear it here. Not with me. You can set it down. You can breathe. You can be exactly as fragile, as overwhelmed, as uncertain as you truly are. And I will not think less of you. I will not turn away. I will hold you closer. I know what the world has taught you. It taught you that strength means silence. That courage means never letting anyone see the cracks. That being brave means swallowing your pain and moving forward as though nothing ever hurt you. And you believed it. You believed it so deeply that you built your entire life around it. You became the one everyone leans on. The one who always has the answer. The one who holds everyone else together. But my child, who holds you? Who sits with you in the silence after everyone else has gone home? Who asks you how you are and actually waits for the real answer, not the one you rehearse before you say it? I know that most of the time the answer is no one, and that is exactly why I am here tonight. You have been performing a version of yourself that is slowly breaking you from the inside. The smile you carry is real in some moments, but in others, it is a shield. You laugh because it is easier than explaining why you want to cry. You say you are fine because the truth feels too heavy to hand to another person. You keep moving because if you stop, even for a moment, you are afraid that everything you have been holding back will come flooding out, and you will not be able to put yourself back together again. I understand that fear, but I need you to hear me when I say this. You do not need to hold it all together. That was never your job. It was always mine. My child, when was the last time someone looked at you, truly looked at you, and said, "I see how hard this has been for you"? When was the last time someone noticed that your laughter had less light in it? That your prayers had become shorter because you did not have the energy to speak full sentences to me anymore? When was the last time someone held space for your pain without trying to fix it? Without offering advice you did not ask for? Without making you feel like your struggle was an inconvenience? I know it has been a long time. Maybe longer than you can remember. And that silence from the people around you has left a wound in you that you do not talk about. A loneliness that exists even in crowded rooms. A quiet ache that follows you into every conversation, every relationship, every morning you wake up and have to face another day of being everything to everyone, while feeling like you are slowly disappearing. I see that. I see all of it. The version of you that nobody else gets to see. The one that surfaces at 2 in the morning when the house is quiet and your thoughts are loud. The one that stares at the ceiling and wonders if anything will ever feel easy again. The one that prays, but sometimes cannot even find the words, so you just sit there in the dark, hoping I understand the silence. I do. I have always understood your silence. I hear what your heart says when your mouth cannot form the words. And none of it, not one single moment of it, has gone unnoticed by me. You have been wounded by people who should have protected you. You have been let down by those you trusted with the most tender parts of who you are. There are memories you carry that still sting when you think about them, even years later. Words that were spoken to you in anger or carelessness that carved themselves into the way you see yourself. Rejections that made you question your value. Betrayals that made you afraid to fully trust again. And through all of it, you kept going. You picked yourself up. You rebuilt what was broken. You forgave even when no apology ever came. You chose to keep your heart open even when closing it would have been so much easier. And you did all of this quietly, without recognition, without applause, without anyone truly understanding the enormous courage it took to simply continue showing up to your own life. There have been seasons when you gave everything you had to people who gave you nothing in return. You poured yourself out for others, listened to their struggles, carried their weight, stayed up late answering their calls, showed up every time they needed you. And when it was your turn to need someone, you looked around and found the room empty. That taught you something painful. It taught you that your needs were too much, that asking for help made you a burden, that the safest thing to do was to need no one at all. But my child, that was never the truth. That was a wound speaking, and wounds, when left alone in the dark, do not heal. They harden, they become walls, and eventually they keep out not only the pain, but also the love that is trying to reach you. Tonight, I am reaching through those walls, and I am asking you to let me in. Do you know how I see you? Not as the world sees you, not as you see yourself on your hardest days. I see the beauty of a heart that has been bruised and battered, and yet still chooses to love, still chooses to hope, still chooses to pray, still chooses to believe, even when belief feels like the most difficult thing in the world. Your endurance is not a sign of weakness. It is one of the most magnificent things I have ever witnessed. The fact that you are still here, still breathing, still willing to listen to my voice tonight, tells me everything I need to know about the depth of your spirit. You are far stronger than you give yourself credit for, but not because of the armor you wear, because of the heart that beats beneath it. And tonight, I want to heal that heart. I know there are days when you question whether your prayers even reach me, days when heaven feels impossibly distant, and my voice feels like something you only imagined. You have knelt beside your bed, or stood alone in the shower, or sat in your parked car after a long day, and poured out your heart to me. And then you waited. And when the answer did not come in the way you expected, or in the time you needed, a small voice inside you whispered, "Maybe he is not listening. Maybe I have done something to push him away. Maybe I am simply not important enough to receive an answer." My child, I need you to carry this truth with you long after tonight has passed. There has never been a single moment when I was not listening to you. Not one. Every prayer, every whisper, every silent thought you directed toward me, I received it. I held it close. I honored it. The silence you experienced was not emptiness, and it was not rejection. It was me working in places you could not see, moving things you could not yet touch, preparing answers that needed time to take their full and beautiful shape. I have never been in a hurry with you, and I know that has been hard. In a world that moves so fast, my patience can feel like absence, but I refuse to give you anything halfway. When I answer completely. When I heal in the deepest places, not just the surface. When I restore in ways that last. And that kind of work, the kind that reaches into the very foundation of who you are and rebuilds something truly whole, that kind of work takes time. Not because I am slow or indifferent, but because I am thorough, and because I love you far too much to hand you something temporary when I can give you something that will never break. There are things already in motion for you right now, my child. Things I set into place long before you even knew to pray for them. I've been rearranging circumstances quietly. I have been softening hearts that were hardened toward you. I have been preparing pathways in places that used to be walls. You cannot see all of it yet, and I understand how frustrating that invisibility has been. But I need you to trust what you cannot see, the same way you trust the sun will rise even when the sky is still dark. Your morning is coming. The light is already moving toward you, and when it arrives, you will understand why the night lasted as long as it did. But I do not want you to hear that and immediately start striving again. I know you. I know the first thing you want to do when you hear that something good is coming is to start working harder to earn it, to push through one more night without sleep, to add one more responsibility to a plate that is already overflowing. That is not what I am asking. What I am telling you tonight is that you can rest. You can exhale. You can trust that I am handling what you have been desperately trying to control. The outcome of your story does not depend on your ability to keep performing. It depends on my faithfulness. And I have never once failed anyone I have loved. I will not begin with you. Let me ask you something gently. What would it feel like to stop fighting for just one night? Not to give up, not to quit, but to simply lay down the battle and let me stand guard while you rest your weary heart. What would it feel like to stop rehearsing tomorrow's problems in your mind and just be fully here with me in this quiet moment? I think you have forgotten what peace feels like. You have been in survival mode for so long that stillness makes you anxious. You have associated rest with falling behind and silence with something being wrong. But I am rewriting that tonight. Rest is not weakness. Stillness is not laziness. Sitting with me in the quiet is not wasted time. It is the most powerful thing you can do, because it is in my presence, not in your striving, that the deepest parts of you are restored. My child, I am restoring your hope tonight. I can feel how thin it has become. It has been worn down by too many disappointments, stretched too far by too many seasons of waiting, and dimmed by too many mornings when nothing seemed different. Hope used to come easily to you. You used to believe without questioning. But life taught you to be careful with hope, because every time you let yourself believe something good was coming, the fall hurt worse when it did not arrive. I know that, and I am not asking you to pretend those disappointments did not happen. They were real. The pain was real. But what I am asking you to do tonight is to let me breathe on that flame one more time. Let me show you that hope in me is different from hope in circumstances. Circumstances will fail you. People will fail you. But I am not a circumstance, and I am not just a person. I am the one who holds time itself in my hands. And what I promise, I always fulfill. I am also healing the way you see yourself tonight. You have believed lies about your own worth for longer than you realize. You have measured yourself by your productivity, by your usefulness to others, by how gracefully you handled your worst days. And when you fell short of the impossible standards you set for yourself, you punished yourself with a guilt that I never placed on you, and a shame that does not carry my voice. My child, I need you to release that. The guilt you carry for not being enough, that is not from me. It never was. The shame you feel when you replay your mistakes in the quiet hours of the night, that is not my voice speaking. I have already forgiven every single thing you keep punishing yourself for. I forgave it completely, permanently, without condition, and without keeping record. You do not need to earn your way back to me. You never left my heart. Even in the moments you were most convinced that you had wandered too far, you were right here, held in the center of my love, and you did not even know it. There is something I want you to understand about how I see you, because it is so different from how you see yourself. When you look in the mirror, you see someone who is tired, someone who has failed, someone who could have done better, should have done more. When I look at you, I see someone who kept going when everything said to stop. I see someone who chose compassion when bitterness would have been easier. I see someone who got back up more times than they can count. I see courage. I see beauty. I see a resilience that moves me deeply. You have spent so much time cataloging your failures that you have become blind to your own magnificence. But I am not blind to it. I see it clearly. And I am so proud of you, not for being perfect, but for being faithful in the middle of your imperfection. My child, the season that is opening before you will not look like the one that is closing behind you. I know that feels almost impossible to believe when you have been walking through the same wilderness for what seems like an endless stretch of time. The scenery has looked the same for so long that you have started to believe the landscape of your life will never change. But I am telling you now, with all the tenderness in my heart, something is shifting. Not because you have finally done enough to deserve it, not because you reached some invisible threshold of worthiness, but because the time has come. My timing is not random, it is precise. And this moment, this night, this breath you are taking right now, it is part of the shift. There are things I have been preparing for you that will make the long wait make sense. Not in a way that erases the pain, but in a way that redeems it. I do not waste anything in your life. Not the tears, not the sleepless nights, not the seasons of confusion, not even the mistakes. I weave it all together into something purposeful. And when you finally see what I have been building in the hidden places of your story, you will understand that I was working even when you were convinced I had gone silent. Especially when you were convinced I had gone silent. You will laugh again, my child. And I do not mean the kind of laughter that masks what is really going on inside. I mean the kind that rises up from a place of genuine, unguarded, unexpected joy. The kind that catches you off guard because you forgot your heart could feel that light. You will feel peace settle into your chest where anxiety used to live. You will wake up one morning and realize that the heaviness that used to greet you before your feet even touched the floor is gone, replaced by something you almost forgot existed. A quiet anticipation, a gentle excitement, a steady confidence that today might actually hold something good. That is not wishful thinking. That is your future, and I am already building it. The places in your life that have felt barren, I am bringing life back to them. The relationships that felt beyond repair, I am doing a quiet work in hearts you have given up on. The dreams you buried because they hurt too much to hope for, I have not forgotten them. I remember every single one, and some of them, the ones that were always meant to be, I am breathing life back into them right now. Not all at once, not in a way that overwhelms you, but steadily, gently, the way morning light fills a room. Slowly enough that your eyes can adjust. Slowly enough that your heart can receive without breaking open from the shock of sudden goodness after prolonged sorrow. I am gentle with you because I know what you have been through. And when these things begin to unfold, you will see something remarkable. You will see that the very chapters of your life you wanted to tear out and throw away, the chapters filled with loss and confusion and heartbreak, they were not wasted pages. They were the foundation. They were the soil in which everything beautiful was being planted. You could not see the seeds because they were underground. You could not see the growth because it was happening in the dark. But it was always happening. And now, the first green shoots are about to break the surface. Watch for them. They may appear small at first. A kind word from a stranger. A door that opens without you forcing it. A moment of peace that arrives without explanation. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are my fingerprints on your life, letting you know that everything I have promised is already underway. I want you to know that what I am doing in your life will not be subtle forever. There is coming a moment when the evidence of my hand upon you will be so clear that no one, not even you, in your most doubtful moments, will be able to deny it. The people who watched you struggle will see your restoration and know that something greater than human effort was at work. The situations that seemed permanently broken will be made whole in ways that defy explanation. And your own heart, the heart that has been so tired for so long, will be filled with a strength that does not come from trying harder. It will come from me, and it will not run out. But my child, I do not tell you these things so that you will spend tonight planning and strategizing how to make them happen faster. I tell you so that you can stop striving, so that you can release the desperate grip you have had on your own future, and trust that I am holding it with far steadier hands than yours. You have been white-knuckling your way through life, terrified that if you let go of control for even a moment, everything will fall apart. But I am inviting you into a different way of living. A way where you walk forward not because you have everything figured out, but because you trust the one who does. A way where peace is not something you chase, but something that follows you, because my presence goes with you wherever you go. Now, I want to speak to you about something I need you to hold carefully in your heart. As this message settles into your spirit tonight, as hope begins to stir again, and peace returns to places that have been anxious for a long time, there will be moments in the days ahead when doubt will try to reclaim what I am giving you right now. It will come quietly. It might come as a thought first thing in the morning that says, "That was just emotion. Nothing has really changed." It might come through a difficult day that makes you question whether anything I said was true. It might come through the voice of someone who unknowingly speaks discouragement into your life at the exact wrong moment. I am not telling you this to frighten you. I am telling you so that when it happens, you will recognize it for what it is. Doubt is not truth. It is noise, and it does not have the power to undo what I have spoken over your life tonight. When those moments come, and they will come, because that is the nature of the journey, I want you to do something simple. Return to this night. Remember how you felt sitting here with me. Remember the peace that settled into your spirit. Remember that out of all the things you could have been doing tonight, you were here. And I was here with you. That was not an accident. That was an appointment I made with your soul. And what I speak into being does not fade, because a difficult morning follows a peaceful night. My words stand. They do not waver. They do not expire. What I have declared over you tonight will remain true tomorrow, next week, next month, and for every day that follows. I also need you to be gentle with yourself in the coming days. You do not need to transform overnight. You do not need to become an entirely different person by morning. Healing is not a performance with a deadline. It is a journey walked one honest step at a time. Some days, you will feel the fullness of my peace resting over you like a warm blanket. And other days, the old heaviness will try to settle back onto your shoulders. That does not mean you have failed. It does not mean tonight did not matter. It means you are human. And I have never once asked you to be more than that. I have only ever asked you to be mine. And you are. You always have been. Be careful, too, with how you spend the quiet hours of your mind. The world is loud, my child. It is filled with noise that masquerades as urgency, distractions that disguise themselves as necessities, and an endless stream of voices competing for the space in your heart that belongs to me. Not all of those voices are harmful, but not all of them are helpful either. Learn to recognize which ones bring peace and which ones bring only more anxiety. The voices that leave you feeling drained, ashamed, or more afraid. Those are not from me. My voice will always lead you toward peace, even when the message is difficult. My voice will always remind you that you are loved, even when it is calling you to grow. If a voice tears you down without building you back up, it is not mine. Let it go, and guard your hope fiercely. I know I said this already, but it is important enough to say again. There will be people who do not understand what is happening inside you. People who cannot see the invisible work I am doing in your heart. Some of them may question it. Some may dismiss it. Some out of their own pain and disappointment, may try to convince you that what you are feeling tonight will not last. Do not let their experience define your future. What I am doing in your life is between you and me. It does not require anyone else's permission or approval to be real. Hold my promises close. Treasure them quietly. Let them grow in the soil of your trust until the time comes for the world to see the harvest. My child, I want you to promise me something tonight. Promise me that you will stop apologizing for being human. Stop treating your tears as weakness. Stop punishing yourself for having needs that go unmet. Stop measuring your worth by how much you were able to give to others while running on empty. You matter to me, not for what you produce, not for what you provide, not for the roles you fill or the burdens you carry for everyone else. You matter because you are mine. You are the one I think about with a tenderness that would bring you to your knees if you could feel its full weight. You are loved in a way that nothing in this world can replicate, replace, or take away. And no amount of failure, no depth of struggle, no season of darkness can diminish that love by even a fraction. It is permanent, it is unconditional, and it is yours. Tonight is not about fixing everything that is broken in your life. It is not about making grand promises to yourself that you will be different by morning. It is about something far simpler and far more profound than that. It is about beginning. It is about opening the door to a room in your heart that you have kept locked for a very long time because you were afraid of what I would find if I entered. I already know what is behind that door. I have always known, and I am not turning away. I am walking in. I am sitting down in the middle of everything you have been hiding. Your doubt, your shame, your fear, your exhaustion, your anger, your grief. And I am telling you, I am not going anywhere. This is exactly where I want to be. With you. In the middle of all of it. Not when you are cleaned up. Not when you have it figured out. Now. Tonight. As you are. I want you to let go tonight. Not of everything all at once, because I know your hands have been gripping so tightly for so long that releasing feels terrifying. But just loosen your grip a little. Start with one thing. The worry that has been sitting in your stomach for weeks. Hand it to me. The relationship that keeps you up at night. Trust me with it. The future that feels so uncertain. It makes your chest tighten every time you think about it. Let me carry that. You were never meant to hold all of this alone. And every moment you try to, you are carrying a weight that I have already volunteered to bear. Let me do what I came to do. Let me be your rest. There is a kind of strength that the world does not understand. It is not the strength of doing more, pushing harder, or refusing to bend. It is the strength of surrender, the strength of kneeling, the strength of saying, I cannot do this alone, and I am done pretending that I can. That is not defeat, my child. That is the bravest thing a human heart can do. And when you surrender to me, you do not become weaker. You become connected to a strength that has no limit. My power does not diminish. My love does not run dry. And when you allow yourself to lean fully into me, you will discover that I have been waiting to carry you all along. So close your eyes if you need to. Let the tears come if they have been building. You do not have to explain them to me. I already know exactly where they come from, and I am not asking you to be strong right now. I am asking you to be honest. Be honest about how tired you are. Be honest about how much you have been carrying. Be honest about how long it has been since you felt truly at rest. And then let this moment be the beginning of something you have been aching for, quietly. Not a dramatic transformation, not a sudden change that fixes everything by sunrise. Just peace, just presence, just you and me, sitting together in the gentle quiet of this night, with nothing between us but the truth of who you are and the fullness of how deeply I love you. You are going to be okay, my child. I need you to hear that one more time and let it reach the place inside you that has been terrified that it will not be. You are going to be okay. Not because the road ahead will be free of difficulty, not because I'm promising you a life without storms, but because you will never walk another step of this journey alone. I am with you. I have always been with you. In every season you have already survived, and in every season that is still to come, my presence will be your constant. My love will be your anchor. My peace will be your shelter. Rest tonight, my child. Let your heart be still. Let the noise of the world fade into the background. And know deeply, quietly, and without a single shadow of doubt that you are loved beyond anything you could ever measure, beyond anything you could ever earn, beyond anything this world could ever take away. You are loved, you are held, and you are mine. Comment Amen if this message reached your heart.